Hello, Michelle. How's it going today?
Good. How are you?
I am great. I have a question for you to start us out.
Okay.
What is the last movie you watched? Maybe in the theater. What's the last movie you watched in the theater?
Oh, so
Has it
I
been a
tried. No, it hasn't. Although it depends what you mean by watched. I tried to watch. Oh gosh, what's that new animated movie with the beavers?
Oh, yes. Happy
No.
or Jumping. My kids watched it. What was that called?
Wait, I'm looking. Hoppers.
Hoppers. I was close. Happy
Happy
Hoppers.
Hoppers. Yeah, no,
Right.
Hoppers.
Jumpers,
But I didn't.
Hoppers.
I fell asleep.
You needed a nap. You know what? That whatever $10 you spent for that movie was well spent for that nap in a dark room while your kids were entertained.
Yes, exactly. And there were reclining seats. It was great. So
lovely.
But I remember I was enjoying it and I was thinking, don't fall asleep. But it just came over me. So
You'll have to watch it another time. I expected to fall asleep in the movie theater this last weekend because we went to Project Hail Mary for the second time.
Oh yeah.
And I thought, I was like, this might just be a nap. And it was not. I was just as entertained the second time as the first time. I was actually surprised. There were things I caught the second time that I had missed the first time.
Yeah.
And my kids also, because what happened is we had already seen Project Hail Mary. We loved it. And then we went to see the new Super Mario Brothers movie and it was sold out except like the very front row. And I was really surprised. And, I'm sure it's a good movie, but I just was surprised. So we're like, Project Hail Mary is starting any minute. Let's just go to that again. The kids were like, yes, they loved it the first time. We went again. We all loved it the second time. There was no napping. It was just as good. Have you seen that movie yet?
No, I know you've been telling me all about it. I
need
should,
to.
but no, I haven't.
And FYI, everyone, we're recording a little bit in advance. So maybe everyone out there has already seen it and heard of it. But hopefully by the time this is actually published, Michelle, you will have seen it. I think you're going to like it.
I am excited to see it. I would definitely like to. So today, Aubrey, we are answering a listener question from YouTube by ID Carrot.
Yes, so fun. Do you want to read the question for us, Michelle?
Sure. Here we go. ID Carrot says, thanks for your amazing tips. I listen to your podcast religiously, and it has already become a daily routine. I have a question. I know it's okay to lie a little bit, but what if I have absolutely no idea about what to say? Is it okay that I just steal the plots in some series or movies, which may be legit familiar with examiners? Oh,
this is such a good question, and I am so excited to talk about it. And I also think this episode is going to be really fun, Michelle, because we are going to give you the answers here, and we're also going to show what you should not do, because you can do this, but you have to do it the right way. So we'll share what you should not do. We're going to share what you could do using a few fun TV shows that you may have watched. And also I'm going to do an answer, and then Michelle is going to guess if she can figure out which TV show I'm talking about and pretending it's my life. So this is going to be so fun, guys. Stay to the end. I'm so excited for you to get all these tips. But the first thing, the short answer is you can absolutely steal plots from TV shows and movies, and we are going to show you how, because it needs to be logical. It needs to make sense. That's the main thing. You could not take the plot of Project Hail Mary and describe on the IELTS speaking exam how you were an astronaut that saved the world. The examiner's going to look at you like you're a crazy person. That does not make sense.
Oh, yeah.
No, right? They're like, describe an interesting experience you had. And you're like, one time NASA hired me to go and I saved the world. The examiner would be like, and it's interesting because that wouldn't necessarily decrease your score, because the examiner's not basing the score on whether you're telling the truth or not, but it just would be strange, really strange. Like, it needs to be logical, right?
Right.
But you can do this, and we are going to share how to do it. But first, let's show a fun example of what not to do. Michelle, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to give me an answer that would not be ideal for IELTS. Ready?
Okay, let's hear the question.
Do you enjoy watching movies or TV shows?
Oh, for sure. Especially when they remind me of intense experiences. For example, I once went through a situation where I had to survive in a really remote place after a trip went wrong. I had to figure out how to find food and build a basic shelter, which was honestly terrifying, but also kind of eye-opening. So when I watch survival movies now, I feel like I can really relate to them on a personal level.
I love this. Can you tell what movie or TV show plots this is based on, Michelle?
Yeah, well, I was thinking it could be Lost, could be Castaway. Also sounds a little like just like Survivor, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? Survivor, Naked and Afraid, because I watched that one. There's so many, but here's why we wouldn't recommend this. You could. It really wouldn't pull down your score that much, but you're probably going to get kind of like a bug-eyed, surprised expression from the examiner that's kind of like, oh, wow, you survived on a deserted island. And that response from the examiner could maybe throw you off. Like, who knows? I think it is wiser to choose TV shows and movies that have plots, that have things that actually would be logical and more realistic to have happened in your life. So what we're going to do today is to share a couple of answers like this, what you should do, that have, information for, and it's okay if it's recognizable to the examiner. If the examiner's going to think like, this sounds a little bit like the plot of, whatever. I'm trying to think of a movie that would work. Goonies. This sounds a little bit like the plot of Goonies. Something a little, but that's okay. That's
but
not
if
going
it's
to pull
a
down your score.
universal, I think of the
more
word universal,
exactly.
where like,
Exactly.
okay, everybody could have experienced something
Everyone
like this.
could have experienced that. Exactly. And that is going to be easier for you as well to say in a natural native way. So let's do, we're going to share some little details here. It is fine that it signals a specific TV show or movie. It really is. It doesn't matter. That's not going to pull down your score. But like Michelle said, it just needs to be believable and realistic. It needs to be something that could happen to anyone. So after the break here, we are going to share a couple of examples of how you could do this on IELTS and how you should. I think it's a great idea. If you're reminded, you're drawing a blank and you're like, I don't know if I have any personal examples, but I remember really well the plot of a movie that could have happened to me. Absolutely describe that and you don't have to say, well, I'm going to imagine I was on the set of the movie Ghost and tell you this as if it was my life.
Right.
No, you're just going to say when I was young and then tell the story, the plot, whatever happened in the movie as if it happened to you.
Exactly.
Okay, Michelle. How about if you ask me one first and I will give an answer and we'll see if you can guess. We'll see if listeners out there can guess what TV show or movie this might be from.
Okay, here we go. Here's a question, Aubrey. What is your favorite thing about your job?
Oh, it definitely have to be the people I work with. There's always something really funny happening in the office, whether it's random jokes, awkward moments, or little competitions that break out throughout the day. And it really makes stressful days much more enjoyable because there's this goofiness and camaraderie. You never know what's going to happen. My boss is a little crazy who does crazy things. And I feel like the environment is just relaxed because of that, but still productive. So it's a really good balance.
Yeah. Okay. That was great. To me, it sounded very much like The Office.
Exactly, right? I'm like taking The Office and I'm like, maybe my job is kind of boring and I work from home and I don't have a lot of interactions with I feel like I don't have that much I could say. So I just imagine myself on the set of The Office. If you guys watch The Office, if not, you should be, for vocabulary, for fun intonation. It's just such a fun show, both the UK version and the American version, which are similar, but with like British comedy and American humor. And describe yourself as if you work in that office like I just did. The goofiness, the camaraderie, the crazy boss. The examiner doesn't care that it's not true. They might even actually be thrilled if they think for a second that you are imagining yourself on that TV show and describing it. That's going to be a high scoring answer if you use impressive vocabulary and intonation and details. Amazing.
Yeah, I love it. So yeah, it you know, you could talk about The Office for everyday team dynamics and conflict. But this isn't more in a comedic way. Or if you have more of a high pressure job, high pressure teamwork with deadlines, Suits might be a good one that you kind of go to.
Totally. Okay, I have provided an answer for Michelle to give here. I'm going to ask her a question. And Michelle, I know you're reading something you've never read before, but try to give it to us with interesting intonation as if you're saying it and it happened to you.
Okay.
And then afterward, I'm going to have you guess if you can tell what TV show this is based on.
Okay.
Your question is, what do you like to do with friends?
Okay, here we go. Well, we mostly like to just hang out somewhere comfortable, like a cafe or someone's apartment. We usually sit around talking for hours, just joking about random things and sometimes even debating silly topics that turn into big conversations. When we were all single, we were living in New York and we got together almost every day at the same coffee shop, which kind of became our like little regular spot. It wasn't anything super fancy, but those moments were really meaningful because we could just relax and laugh and be ourselves. It was great.
I love this. And I have a feeling you know what show I was thinking of, Michelle.
Of course. It's Friends. Thank you for giving me the Friends one. My favorite show.
You're welcome. And I know a lot of you out there watch Friends. We've heard from our listeners. It is a really great language level for everyone at your level. It's great for learning new vocabulary, for interesting intonation. It's fantastic. We highly recommend it. And you could even be more specific. Michelle could have said, for example, one day my friend busted out her guitar and started singing this song she had made up called Smelly Cat. It could even be details like that. And the examiner might kind of be like, because maybe they've seen Friends and they would recognize that. It doesn't matter. That would not pull down your score. It's fun. You can lie on IELTS. No one cares. What matters is that you're using this interesting vocabulary, and you heard it in these episodes. Camaraderie, right? Saying, oh, nothing fancy, joking for hours. Like, even though it's not like vocabulary you've never heard of, but there's still interesting native natural vocabulary here. Intonation, we're switching up our intonation, we're speaking in an interesting way.
Right.
That's what's going to give you this high scoring answer, not that you are sharing the truth and nothing but the truth about your life. That's not what matters.
Right, exactly. Oh, this is so much fun. I really love this. A little bit of acting, you know?
Yes.
And it kind of also takes the pressure off of you, right? If, you know, you're moving yourself a little bit. So it might, if you're nervous, this might actually be helpful. So yeah, that's something to think about as well. Guys, if you haven't already, check out IELTS Energy episode 1605. That was why your IELTS vocabulary is not a lost cause. That was just from the other day.
Yeah, that was a good one. Check it out and use this strategy. I love that this listener sent in this strategy. I hadn't actually thought about this before. We've never talked about this on the podcast before. ID Carrot, fantastic idea. I love it. I want you guys to practice speaking answers doing this. And what a fun, you need to be watching TV shows and movies anyway to build up your listening skills. What a fun bonus to also be paying attention to it in order to maybe use those details in an IELTS speaking answer. So I love this. Come back to YouTube, leave a comment for a TV show that you are going to come up with an answer about. Maybe even post it in the comments, like the question, the IELTS question, and your answer, how you would pretend that you're in a certain TV show or movie and what you would say. I love this. So fun.
Yes, I love it. All right. This was fun, Aubrey. I'm glad we talked about this today. And guys, we'll see you on the next episode.
Awesome. See you next time. Bye.